program today. The Ethical Humanist Society of Philadelphia has been around since 1885, and we're here to serve as a humanist home for people who would like to raise the standard of their living by living closer to their ethical ideals. We believe in the inherent worth of every individual, the importance of social justice, and ethical relationships as the means to create that social justice. Today is about gratitude, thanksgiving, recognition, appreciation, humility, joy, many different words. I've been profoundly grateful for being a part of this community, but I want to just talk about my gratitude in the last 24 hours. Sometimes we let days go by without a moment of feeling grateful. I'm tremendously grateful for the workshop participants that we had gathered upstairs yesterday afternoon, and for Diana Walton, who was the leader with me. We had 30 people talk about very difficult issues, again, to try to bring out the best in each of us. I'm tremendously grateful to Elizabeth, who was upstairs working on the cables, who invited me to her home for a non-theist Quaker potluck last night. First time I was with that group. I was warmly welcomed. I'm very thankful to Ken Greif, who gave me a place to stay last night. I'm very thankful to the marathon runners, who, as I was grumbly trying to jog to my gym, I couldn't get there because they were going by, and I started to laugh at the irony. I eventually joined them and ran with them a block so I could slowly slide over to the north side of the road and head off to my gym, since I could not take a marathon. I'm thankful to Anton and Tyreek, who work here and keep this place in shape. Last night, there was a rental that was supposed to be done at 2. It was done at 4. So when you see Tyreek walk into a wall today, please guide him away from it, because he got about 3 hours of sleep. And I'm thankful for my partner in crime, Dottie, who I spend a lot of time in this building with on a day-to-day basis during the weekday, our administrator. I want to now call up Ron and Janet to start us off with 2 readings. Ron first and then Janet.
It's interesting that Elder Schweitzer wrote on gratitude because he gave so much. You know? When I look back upon my early days, I am stirred by the thought of the number of people whom I have to thank for what they gave me or for what they were to me. At the same time, I am haunted by an oppressive consciousness of the little gratitude I really showed them when I was young. How many of them have said farewell to life without having made clear to them what it meant to me to receive from them so much kindness and so much care. A great deal of water is flowing underground, which never comes up as a spring. In that thought, we may find comfort. But we ourselves must try to be the water which does find its way up. We must become a spring at which men can quench their thirst for gratitude.
I'm going to be reading from a Thanksgiving prayer of the Humanist people, whom I knew as the Iroquois, so maybe you know them that way. Haudenosaunee is a new word to me, which is always a good thing. The Native Americans are very, very in tune with the world around them. They thank everything. We'll see what we read today. Today we've gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as we give greetings and thanks to each other as the people. Now our minds are one. We are all thankful for the Mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. We are thankful for the powers that we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing the messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one. We send our greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of light. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one. We put our minds together and give thanks to our eldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. Now our minds are one. We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our caring teachers. Now our minds are one. Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, the Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life here is on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one. We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it is not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds are one.
Thank you. I want to thank Phil Collins for writing this song. I was never a Journey fan. Wasn't he Journey? R.E.M.? Genesis. I was never a Genesis fan. I lump a lot of 80 groups together, so I apologize. I thought the 90s was a better time for music. But this song is gorgeous. And I picked it, I said, this is too melancholy. But I think a lot of times, for me, when I look at all the need in the world, and I look at all that I have, and the fact that I grew up in such an environment of abundance that I never really confronted want in my life, and I see how much aching need there is in the outside world, to bring it up, here we go again, we're bringing up all these people in need in this bottomless pit of need out there. But for me, what connecting with the need allows me to do is feel whole, feel connected with the rest of humanity, and that's a gift. So I think this song helps me do that a little bit. Feel free to sing if you'd like. Words are in your program if you want to sing or read. You'll like it better if it's two. She calls out to the man on the street, "Sir, can you help me? It's cold and I've nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me?" He walks on, he doesn't look back. He pretends he can't hear her, starts to whistle as he crosses the street. She's embarrassed to be there. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. She calls out to the man on the street. He can see she's been crying. She's got blisters on the soles of her feet. She can't walk, but she's trying. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, dear, is there nothing more anybody can do? Oh, my heart, there must be something you can say. You can tell from the lines on her face. You can see that she's been there. Probably been moved on from every place, but she didn't fit in there. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise. Just another day for you and me in paradise. Just another day for you and me in paradise. Beautiful. Now I want to introduce Joyce Ferlunto, who is the development coordinator. Many of you may remember Ray Pagliaro, who was here last year. She was a development coordinator from Philabundance. And Joe has visited the Ethical Humanist Society recently to see what we're about, and I think might even have some humanist leanings. But he's going to talk a little bit about Philabundance, and then we will pass our collection, all of it going to Philabundance today. Joe, thank you for coming.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me here today to take part in your Humanist Thanksgiving service. I think I'd feel fortunate and be thanking you to be here on any Sunday really, but sitting over there and smelling the meal wafting down from the kitchen, I'm especially grateful to be here on this Sunday, especially since Thanksgiving is coming so late this year. I work in the development office at Philabundance, working on fundraising campaigns as well as volunteer campaigns. Philabundance was started in 1984 by a woman by the name of Pamela Rainey Lawler. Pam still serves today on our board of trustees. And Pamela started the organization in her own little blue Subaru, driving around the city, going to restaurants and bakeries, rescuing the food that was going to be thrown out at the end of the day. And she would rescue this food and then redistribute the food to cupboards and pantries throughout the city of Philadelphia, who would then distribute the food to people who really needed it, are impoverished and food insecure families that are so prevalent throughout our communities here. Is that a little too close?
No, it's perfect. It just keeps falling.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So she sort of started this model of rescuing food from the food industry and then redistributing it to the people who really needed it, working with community organizations, running pantries and cupboards, most of them faith-based, but not all of them necessarily. And although we've added a lot of new programs over the last 30 years, as we're heading into our 30th anniversary year in 2014, we've stayed pretty consistent with that model of rescuing food and redistributing it. We now take food from a wide variety of sources. You know, Phil Abundant's mission statement is to reduce hunger and food insecurity throughout the Delaware Valley in partnership with organizations and individuals. And I think the latter part of our mission statement, in partnership with organizations and individuals, is so incredibly key. You know, we distributed over 26 million pounds of food last year. And that wouldn't have been possible without the thousands and thousands of food donors that we rely on. These include our neighbors. Our Hunger Relief Center is down in South Philly near the stadiums and all the other food warehouses and the ports, and we take a lot of food from them. We take food from retailers, grocery stores. We have a Grocers Against Hunger program. We raised over 9 million pounds of food through that program alone last year. People participating in community food drives, holding a food drive at your church, your school, your company, a huge, incredibly important source of food. You know, that's thousands of people, you know, donating and providing us the food that we need. We're also an incredibly volunteer-driven organization. Our Hunger Relief Center on Patterson Avenue in South Philly sees about 17,000 volunteers every year. And these volunteers work through bulk donated food and break it down and put it and repack it into boxes and put it, you know, into a package that can actually move through our distribution system as, you know, it's coming to us in a raw form. We can't always move it the way that it comes to us, so we need volunteers to break it down and repack it. Our fundraising efforts, our budget is comprised 61% by individual donors. That's 55,000 people, 55,000 active donors a year, giving anywhere between $5,000 and $5,000. We're operating a network of about 500 agencies throughout the Delaware Valley and direct service programs, feeding people in 9 counties, and that's Philadelphia, Bucks, Montgomery, Chester, and Delaware counties, as well as Burlington, Camden, Gloucester, and Salem counties in New Jersey. We're feeding about 72,000 people a week through our network. When you consider 500 agencies, all of those agencies have several or more people operating them, so that's several thousand people again there, all working together in a community-wide partnership to solve what has become a real human emergency in our communities. So we're looking at a network of support that's tens of thousands of people, quite possibly upwards of 100,000 people, all dedicated to solving this horrible problem of hunger and food insecurity that's plaguing our communities. In my position, I'm very lucky because I get to interact with a lot of these people. I interact most heavily with our donors, our financial donors, but also our volunteers and our food donors as well. And what this has done for me, in the last 2 years, something that I have realized is engaging in philanthropy or engaging in volunteerism is a really incredibly powerful tool for breaking down barriers. When you reach out and help someone who is less fortunate than yourself, you're breaking down that barrier between the haves and the have-nots. You're reaching out, you're transforming and changing that person's life for the better, and that's going to have a transformative effect on you. When you work together with your neighbors, because this is a neighborhood problem, their hunger is in every zip code, and these people who avail themselves of Phil Abundance's service and who are in need of food assistance, you should think of these people as your neighbors. And when you come together with your neighbors to improve your community, you cut through, a lot of that dissonance and partisan static and, hatred and ignorance that isolates us and divides us, and you come together to work together and solve a real human problem. It enriches yourself, it enriches your community, and it enriches the people, that you're helping. So this transformation has really changed me in a lot of ways. It's working for Phil Abundance has given me an exposure to hunger and food insecurity and the conditions of poverty that are so prevalent throughout our communities here in the Delaware Valley that I don't think I would have gotten working for another organization. And it has made me a much more compassionate person. It has really changed the way that I approach my fellow human beings, especially when dealing with someone in need. It has truly transformed me, and I would love the opportunity to share that transformation with you. So I'm going to be here throughout the meal upstairs and staying for a little while longer. If you'd like to talk to me a little more in depth about Phil Abundance and what we're doing to tackle food insecurity here in the Delaware Valley, we can talk about volunteering. There's a lot of different programs to get involved with. We can talk about making a financial donation. You shared that the collection today will be going to Phil Abundance, and I thank you all for that. Every dollar you give allows us to provide 2 meals to someone who really needs it here in our community. So I hope you will consider giving, and I will be here for an hour or so upstairs if you'd like to talk about getting involved with Phil Abundance. I'd really like to share this transformation that I've experienced through Phil Abundance with you. Thanks.
Our host today will now come forward and accept your contributions to Phil Abundance. I'll again remind you that 100% of what you give today goes to Phil Abundance. I'll accompany that with some instrumental music. Bill. Thank you. Bill and Sandy, if you wouldn't mind, once you bring that collection in, just bring one of the plates upstairs if any of the volunteers would like to donate. I want to have that plate available for them. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joe, very much. I do encourage people to talk to Joe about potentially more brainstorming ways that we can support Phil Abundance, get involved, maybe go down to your warehouse, see what it's like, learn a little bit more about hunger in this city. It is just a drop in the bucket, but it's a worthwhile one. Joe will be staying here for lunch. I also want to mention that there'll be a food drop-off for Phil Abundance that is being organized by Neighborhood Books down at 1906 South Street. So just down 4 blocks, same address. Curtis Keyes is the owner there. He's a new owner. It's a community bookstore, used bookstore, and I encourage you to bring stuff down there. If you do, tell him you're from the Ethical Society. Support him. Macaroni and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, hot and cold cereals, canned, shelf-stable foods like tuna, pasta, stew, chili, green beans, corn, and fruit are what is most needed. So please consider doing that. Before our last reading and heading upstairs to get our bellies full, I want to share a song which is not necessarily per se a song about gratitude or thanks, but it's a song that makes me feel very thankful for my children. Many of you know that I started the empty nest phase of my life this fall. All 3 of my kids are up and out of the house. My youngest, a freshman, up in college in New England. But this is the lullaby that I would sing to them. And this, in the last reading, to me represents the simplicity of gratitude sometimes. It is a healthy thing to feel gratitude. Not just people feeling grateful to you, but you feeling grateful to the world. So this poem is just about feeling grateful for my children, for the sleep that they got, perhaps after I sang this to them. And Betsy will, and for sleeping, yeah. And even for dusting, which is the focus of Betsy's reading. But again, this is a James Taylor song. Feel free to sing along. The sun is slowly sinking down, but the moon is slowly rising. This old world will still be spinning round, and I still love you. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes. It's alright. I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore. But I can sing this song, and you can sing this song when I'm gone. I know there's gonna be a better day. We gonna have a good time. Nobody's gonna take that time away. You can stay as long as you like. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes. It's alright. I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore. But I can sing this song. You can sing this song when I'm gone.
Dusting by Marilyn Nelson. Thank you for these tiny particles of ocean salt, pearl necklace viruses, winged protozoans, for the infinite, intricate shapes of sub-microscopic living things. For algae spores and fungus spores, bonded by vital mutual genetic cooperation, spreading their inseparable lives from equator to pole. My arm, making sweeping circles, dust climbs the ladder of light. For this infernal, endless chore, for these eternal seeds of rain, thank you for dust.
So you can't be caught saying, well, what do I have to be grateful for? Thank you for coming. As I said, this is an abbreviated program because we have our feast upstairs. I would ask you to think about when you choose a seat upstairs, try to sit with the person you came with, but also sit with maybe somebody you don't know as well, somebody that hasn't been here as often, and share what you each are grateful for. So again, I want to thank Joe for coming, and I'd love for all the people that are still upstairs, scurrying around, getting our meal ready, for them to tell me later afterwards, what did you say downstairs? 700 people said thank you for me. So please, thank them for all the work, because they had to miss this so they could get the rest of the feast ready to go.
I taped it for anybody who missed it. So
they can watch it on YouTube. So.
It's not as good as being here, but it's...
So thank you for coming, and bon appetit.